Hi everyone, good morning and good evening. So welcome to the 16th episode of Expert Connect session from DGC. So my name is Firoz Muhammed. So let me talk a little bit about DGC here. So we started DGC back in December 2018 with the intention of building a strong community for Dynamics 5 consultant, customers, as well as the partners. So we have been conducting webinars and meetups since then. So we do conduct webinars on the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. So because of the holiday yesterday, we have pushed it to today. So we have conducted many webinars. We had have had very interesting webinars conducted by experts on various topics, including Dynamics 5 portals, security on Dynamics 5, integration of Dynamics 5 with various tools like Skype, online, etc. And we definitely have multiple sessions on Power Platform, Power BI, Power Apps, and etc. And also we had a couple of sessions on comparing Dynamics 5 customer engagement with Salesforce Analytics, and etc. And we had one last session on Dynamics 5 certifications. Yeah, so this is what we have been doing on the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. So our previous session was conducted by Suresh Panchal on 25th of September, and our next session will be on 17th of October. So our website that you can just refer with the URL d365globalcommunity.com. So we regularly update the recording of all our sessions on the YouTube channel. So you can just follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as on Facebook. You can search for Dynamics 5 Global Community, and then you can just subscribe us. So you can just track all the updates from DGC and the activities. So moving to the webinar tips. So I request everyone to mute the line because we'll be recording the session. So request everyone to mute the line. So if you have any question, you can just put it in the chat. So we get them towards the end of the session. The duration of the session is 45 minutes. So within that, we will be just presenting the topic for 30 minutes, and the Q&A will be there after that for 10 to 15 minutes. And regularly we update and upload the recording of the session on the YouTube, so you can watch it from there. So I'll be sharing the URL of the YouTube channel also on the chat. Okay, and today's session we are trying a new model here. So it will be a discussion on the topic of Power Platform. So we are going to discuss on how Microsoft Power Platform is going to change the way we develop application in the future. So we all heard a lot about Microsoft Power Platform, and we all also got opportunity to work on. Some of them we got opportunity to work on them. So today's topic is a discussion rather than a seminar. It will be a discussion on this topic. So I have with me Prabhu Selvam. He is a Dynamics 5 technical architect with more than 10 years of experience. So he also contributed multiple times in the DGC as webinars and session, etc. He's an expert and he's a good speaker. He's a good friend of mine. So he's joining me today on this topic. And then, so we'll be discussing on this particular topic. Hi, Prabhu.
Hey, Firoz. Thanks for introduction.
Yeah. So do you want me to start? Or you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can get started. Right. Yeah. So as Firoz mentioned, right, so we just wanted to try a different way, right? More of a kind of sharing each other's experience, right? And what you have seen so far, what we learned, right? And it'll be good kind of experience for others to get an idea like what things are going on, right? So today we're talking about the Power Apps, right? So I can share my experience, like what I've done so far in Power Apps and what is my experience and what I learned and what I heard from others, right? So as you know, like Power Apps came like a couple of years back, right? And Microsoft is investing a lot on Power Apps, right? So it's kind of open platform, right? The extended Dynamics 365 XRM framework, right, into CDS, and also they brought in like Power Apps to build apps not only on CDS on CRM. You can also build app on any O365 applications of the services, right? It could be a SharePoint, or it could be a simple Excel, or it can be on OneDrive, right? And also like they want to cut down the customer cost, right, on investing a lot on building a tailor-made app for their business services, right? So if you take current scenario, if you want to build a mobile app, it's a huge investment, right? You have to identify the development team, right, who have a specific skill set, right? and they have to go through the SDLC process to build an app, right? Definitely, it's going to take a simple fight app. It's going to take like 2 to 3 months, right? With Power Apps, right, it is possible within a week or two, right? Given the size of your application. Right? So what is there? So what we heard from Power Apps is probably like low code, no code, right? And what is there for the developer? As a developer, what we have in Power Apps, right? Is there something we can contribute as a developer? Or is it more of app is for the business user or the power user or a citizen developer? They can go and spin the app by themselves, right? Not exactly, right? So still they need developers, especially on designing the data model, right? If they're building an app, it could be like, say, check-in, check-out app for each warehouse, right? So the data cannot be stored, right, in Excel or OneDrive. It has to be a relationship database, right? So relational database. It could be either CDS or a CRM, right? If they go for CDS or CRM, they definitely need a developer, right, on designing the data model. And that's one thing where the developer contributes, right? Coming back on the app, right? So the app comes with a simplified CRUD operations, right? Either you can save your record into either of the database or you can retrieve, right? It comes a standard layer, right? Any customization, any logic, right? That's where they need the developer help, right? So when I say logic, it's basically the formula-based logic. So how complex the form is, right? If the form gonna hold only the simple entity information, right? Then you don't need much of a formula or logic, right? If you're combining multiple entities and bringing it to one single screen, right, where you capture customer information, where you capture contact, and where you capture the touch point for the customer, right? So all these things, it goes into a multiple entities in CRM or the CDS, right? In that case, it cannot be done by a power user or a citizen developer, right? So it uses a complex formula, right? So you have to use a patch command, right? It's not straightforward to use that. So that's where we developer will come into picture, right? So that's one area, and any integration touch point to another system, right? So we have to use a Microsoft Flow. So Microsoft Flow is acting as a bridge for the Power Apps to connect to any external data source, right? So for that also, like even Power Apps, there's Microsoft Flow, they're saying that it's a low code, no code. Yes, it's a low code, no code. What exactly we are doing, right? So it supports most of the connector, right? And assume that there are cases, the external system which we are integrating, it's a legacy system, right? The legacy system doesn't support the modern technology, right? So it has to have a wrapper service or API or a web service. So there comes the developer, right, to rescue them. So there, again, a developer's help is very much required there, right, to integrate. And moving this to the higher environment, right? So it's kind of like export import. You can export the whole package and move it to another environment, right? Or you can do a CI/CD pipeline, right? So continuous integration deployment. That's where the developer also comes into picture, right? Where you can deploy the packages, right? Schedule and deploy the packages as and when they check in the data, right? Or the customization.
Cool. Cool. So
And
a lot on the technical front of Power Platform. So to me, just to interrupt you, to me, Power Platform is like, it is giving you an option just to develop enterprise application at a very different level. So we have been developing applications as well as extending Dynamics with the help of XR. That means we can just extend it by writing code as well as integrating with other third-party application, etc. By writing code as well as using the tools, many tools we have. So I'm just saying our platform as a new development paradigm where we don't need to write a lot of code, but we can do the same set of powerful application with the help of Power Platform. So as you might know, Power Platform includes 3 services such as Power Apps and then Power BI as well as Flow. So like Prabhu has already rightly pointed out, Flow is majorly using for for automation, workflow automation. So we do have workflows in all the Dynamics 365 application. In addition to that, we do have Microsoft Flow, which basically enable us to just automate the automate the workflows. And in future, we are just seeing that workflows are going to be removed by Flow. That's a long way down the line. And then when it's come to Power Apps, that is help us to just build application for the mobile as well as for web. which can be done very easily. So where Dynamic Specify is going to be a legacy application, or I would say like a data source, and then you'll have CDS between. So you will make applications very easily using drag and drop, and then you just connect to that CDS so that you can access data. And when it's come to analytics, we do have Power BI. Using that, we can create very interactive as well as very comprehensive report, and then you can just connect that to CDS. So that is where Microsoft is taking us into from Dynamics 365. So how much Dynamics 365 is connected to a Power Platform, and what are the different functions available, that is, we are going to discuss on that one, right? So I mean, for me, it is a very interesting platform. We'll be doing less code here. We call it as low code or no code. But yes, it is helping us to do the same set of application, I mean, that we have been doing with the help of code. So there are so many things that are going to change. And if you look at the roadmap, which is coming up in the October release, October way, we are seeing that there are so many changes going to come in Dynamics 365 as well as in the platform. That's what I'm just, that's how I'm just seeing about platform now. So, Prabhu, and when we talk about Power Platform, so what do you think about the connection between Power Platform as well as the CDS? So can you just give some insight on that?
Right, yeah. So, I mean, thanks that you brought up the October release, right? There's a lot of changes coming in for both Power Platform as well as Dynamics 365, right? To answer your question, yeah. So there are inbuilt connectors are available, right? So we don't make CRM API call directly from the Power Apps, right? Especially the Canvas app, which we're talking about. So you always use the connector, right? So which comes like a native connector for the Power Platform. So we have two connectors available in the market, like D365 and CDS connector. So D365, assume that it's more of a standard and free connector, right? And CDS, it's a premium connector, right? It comes with a lot of functionality and improved performance, right? So, so when do we use either of this connector, right? If you're building a application for a small size or mid-size organization, then you can go for D365, right? If you're kind of building app for the enterprise level, right, then definitely you have to consider CDS connector, which is a premium connector. And that's just for the CDS, right? And if you want to connect to another external source, right, of course, there are certain connectors available, but you can always like hop on Microsoft Flow, right? Yeah. You can, it's like, it very, what do you say? It's very flexible and very seamless invoking a flow from Power Apps, right? Just like assume that you're running on-demand workflow from the CRM screen, right? It's very kind of native. You can run it on demand, or you can call it whenever there's a trigger point, right? You can do it in either way from the Power Apps. So that can talk to any of the external system, which is again a seamless experience.
So you have rightly pointed that out. So I mean, CDS is acting as an interface between any of the D365 legacy application as well as Power Platform. That's what it is. And also, what I found is very interesting is now Microsoft is pushing Power Platform to a larger extent. So if I remember the last keynote from Satya Nadella, he was just actually talking about three things. One is Microsoft 365, then Dynamics 365, and then Azure. So these are the things they are going to push heavily on the Azure platform. So they are giving a lot of focus on this one, along with Dynamics 365 and Microsoft 365. They are talking about Power Platform. So wherever they are talking about Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365, they're talking about Power Platform as well. So that means they are giving too much importance on the Power Platform. So as a Dynamics 365 developer or consultant, we should definitely have to look into Power Platform in the future, because that's where the future is for us. It would be less code, I would say, like low code or no code, but that doesn't matter. That future is moving there. And if I remember the, I mean, some of the report from Gartner, what it is saying is by the year of 2013, the total amount of development happened. 60% of that would be happened through low code, no code systems. That means whatever you're developing now, 60% of that would be moving to this kind of system. Not just Microsoft, every software vendors are moving into low code or no code systems. So Microsoft also moving rightly towards that direction. That's what I see when it's come to Power Platform.
Right. Correct. Yeah. So cloud migration is one of the key for that. Right now, even customer understands that. Right. Mm-hmm. They also know very much, like, they don't want extensive customization in the system. Right. They know how painful to maintain. Right, and their operation cost as well. Right. always there to carry the expertise throughout their journey, right? So with moving to cloud, it really helps them to understand what Microsoft is envisioning, right? So keep your system always lightweight, right? And you don't have to maintain them, right? So any upgrade or anything in future, right? Even if you're moving or replacing any components, you don't have to think about or worry about your investment again, right? And so since you brought up a point like developer scope for a developer, right? It's more like even the companies are starting a Power Platform as a separate practice, just like a CRM practice, right? And they're also kind of building, because Microsoft focuses towards more of a Power Platform, right? And they're investing a lot. So as a CRM developer or in the CRM space for a long time, right? Sliding into a Power Apps role, it's not a big deal for them, right? Since they have a very good understanding of a platform for a long time, right? So it's always a scope and more opportunity for the CRM folks.
Cool. So Prabhu, you talk about the reduction in the cost of development or maintaining the CRM or ERP system. So when it's come to Power Platform, how do you think it will cut down the cost of development, and what would be the reduction in the cost that we can achieve if we are moving completely from Dynamics 5 to Power Platform in the future?
Right. Yeah. So the overall cost will definitely come down to 30 to 40%, right? If you're moving to another platform or building your own app, right? So with the beauty of Power Apps is it comes with wonderful connectors, right? And everything is packaged as a kind of per user license, right? Yeah. So you don't have to pay for, as far as you have a storage of initial CDS storage, right? So Microsoft now, again, they're altering the licensing, right? As far as you have a storage available, you can go and spin any number of instances. You don't have to pay for anything, right? So all you're going to pay for your storage. And once you have the app, and you can pay for the app, like what kind of plan you have, like plan 1 or plan 2, pay accordingly. Even the price, if you look at the very cheap, right? And so all the 6 bundle up together, right? Definitely bring down the overall cost for an implementation for any organization, right? And the maintenance cost also will come down. So only challenge what I see here is, just like any other platform where multiple developers can work on multiple things parallelly, right? When it comes to Power Apps, it's a big question actually. So with the latest October wave, right? So they are saying that yes, of course we understand that the same person cannot work on same app, right? Because only one person can hold the session or hold the connection, right? So what they're saying, they're breaking down as a components, right? So if a team has 6 people, 6 members, right, and 6 members are kind of building the same app, right? They can create a separate app and they can work on as an individual component, right? So one person will be working on a skeleton, another person will be working on a specific screen or a reusable component. You can put together, and so this kind of brings up the parallel work stream, right?
Correct. So good that you talk about the pricing part. So what I have seen here is Microsoft is coming up with a new licensing packages for Power Platform. So when they started Power Platform 1 year back, we know that Power BI is in market for like 4 years now, and then the Flow is the latest addition to the Power Platform. So now we have Power BI, Power Apps, as well as Flow. So when I'm talking about the packages, so many of the Microsoft 365 as well as Dynamics 5 packages includes Power Apps as well as Flow. You can just see the packages. So now they're changing all that. So if I look at Power Apps or Flow pricing now, they have changed all that. They have just coming with a separate pricing for these 2 applications along with Power BI. So those are majorly, app-based or user-based. So if I look at the pricing for Power Apps, they have given 2 packages in addition to the present packages. One is a per app based, that means one-time run package, and then other one is multiple run package per app. So per app they are giving the new packages, and when it comes to Flow, it is like how many times you run each of the integrations. That's all. At the moment, how it is, majorly there are 2 plans. One is a plan 1 and plan 2. These are the 2 premium packages. Plan 2 is the highest one that is needed if you want to get CDS. If you want to access CDS and then you want to access entities and freely, then you just need to go for Power Apps Plan 2 or Flow Plan 2. These are things, but which are going to change. So that's about the licensing part of it. I just thought of talk about it because it is going to change very soon.
Right. Hey, and I wanted to ask another thing. So there was a kind of little confusion, like, can we build the power ups for the external customers, right? So what is your thought, right? Is it only for the internal employees within the organization can use, or even for the external end users can use the app?
That's a good question. So using Power Apps or Power Platform per se, we can do it only for your internal employees, or for your customers, because every user need to have a license, right? So, but there is a way just to do that. How we do that in Dynamics 365 is we will normally set up a Dynamics 365 portal where we can allow our partners or external customers to log into that, right, as the user. So very similarly, we have Power Apps portal. And I really amazed by seeing the Power Apps portal very recently that they come up with a lot of templates. So all the template that you have with Dynamics 365 portal, like the customer portal and the partner portal, etc., they have replicated the same thing on Power Apps portal also. If you haven't tried, just give a try on that. It was very interesting. Just like how we create a Canvas app, we can create a customer service portal also. And just to answer a question, using this, we can just help your customers or vendors get in the Power Platform.
Yeah, that's a great addition, right? Because if you go with the CDS, right, so this portal will really come to rescue the external customers, right? Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That's a good addition, actually.
That's a very, very interesting feature, because in Dynamics 365 portal, if you look at it, has a lot of limitation, and it was not that easier. Though we do everything on the UI itself, it is not that easier. But when it's come to Power Apps portal, it is very much simpler, and you can get all the power of your 365 portal there. And if you have worked with the WordPress in the past, then you will feel a lot of similarity with that, because here you do similar kind of changes in the template and etc. So that's a very good, interesting addition to a Power Platform, I would say. And it's very easy to create, just like you create another Canvas app or model-driven app. You can just create a Power Apps app also, or the portal app.
Right. Yeah. I also want to so there's another question also, like, how do I access Power Apps, right? What do I need, right? So basically, just like how you access Dynamic CRM on the mobile app, right? Similarly, especially for the Canvas app, so there is a Power App kind of a hosting platform, right? So you have to download the Power App kind of mobile app platform on your device, and that basically it takes your credential. You have to log in with your work email address, right? So, and how, like, when you log into Dynamics 365 mobile app, it brings up the list of organization, right? Similarly, once you log into Power Apps, it brings up all the apps which have been shared with you.
Correct.
Right. And you can kind of look at all the apps available that you have a permission. You can kind of select one of the app and add it to your, just like creating a desktop on your laptop, right? Similarly, you can have that icon added to your home screen. So next time onwards, you can directly go there and access the app, right? And how do I know if there is any changes that's been published, right? How do I know, right? If you remember back in the days, CRM mobile app, as soon as there is a customization published, right, it will say there is some changes happen. We are downloading the customization, right? So similarly, Power Apps kind of it brings up a kind of notification bar at the top saying that, hey, there is a latest version available. Do you want to download, right? When you tap on download, it is basically much faster, right? So it kind of reloads the page.
Correct. And just to add to that, we do have a new Power Platform admin center now. So where you can create multiple environments. So when I talk about environments, when you just purchase Dynamics 365 package, what you normally get a sandbox as well as a production instance or environment. So same environments I can just see on Power Platform as well. And you can create more environments there. Then you can connect a CDS database to that. So you can just manage that. Just like we have Dynamics 365 admin center, we do have Power Platform admin center also that can just view the environment. I mean, if I wish I could show the screen and show that. We can just see the different environments. You can select that from the top itself. Not just like you have to select a new URL and access it. You can just go to the admin portal. There itself, you can just see the environment. Select one. So once you select any of this environment, you'll be able to see all the apps that you created for that particular environment. In a similar way, if I just go to a flow, I'll be able to see the list of all the flow that I have created for that environment. So like that, same Dynamics 365 environment or instance, I can just access from Dynamics Admin Center. So that's where we'll be able to manage the apps. So
Okay.
you can just access the apps, and then you can just share it with your colleagues and etc. Which can also access from the platform.
Okay. Since you brought up the environment, right, I also wanted to touch base on the package, right?
Yeah.
So how do I move the Power Apps from one environment to another environment, right? What if there is a multiple flows involved, right? Multiple connectors are used. So how do I package them, right?
Okay, cool. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So assume that if you're using CDS, right? So with the CDS, you have an option to create a solution, right? So if you go through the solution and create your app, it can be combined as one package, right? So if you're planning to any app which you're trying to create, it's always a better practice. Create the solution, and within the solutions, you have an option to add what kind of app you want, right? Canvas app or model-driven app, or whether you want to include any of the services from Power Platform, right? So you can similarly add all those components to a package, right? And even the connectors also will be part of it, right? And you can move to the higher environment, right? So when I move to higher environment, how do I manage the connection chain, right?
Yeah.
So as of now, like kind of you have to manually change those, right? Open up the tab in the higher environment and update your connections. The same thing for flow also, right? Or you can use the PowerShell script and change your connections.
Correct. So I have tried that one, especially on the flow side. So how it is, Microsoft has come up with something called package before solution. So in a flow solution, in a package, let me talk about that first. You can add one flow at a time. That means you can select a flow, you can export into a package, just like a zip file in solution. So you get that downloaded, and then you can just import that to the other environment. So it's just like your solution, but only one flow. You can just move from one system to another. I would say like one component at a time. So now they have come up with the same solution concept that we have in Dynamics 365. That means I can create a solution. Inside that I can add entities, model-driven apps, as well as the Power Apps and flow I have created. But there are some limitations still I have. If I open a Power Apps admin center, then I'll be able to see a solution which I have created in Dynamics 365, just like the default solution. And I will be able to see all the entities and everything which is part of your standard Dynamics 365 default solution. Plus, I can add the Power Platform components. But there are some challenges that if I go to Dynamics 365 solution, I'll not be able to see the Power Apps components I add here, because these two admin centers are not very reflected. If I come to the Power Platform side, I'll be able to see Dynamics 365 components plus whatever I add from the platform. If I go to Dynamics 365, I'm not able to see the other way around. But yes, come up with a solution concept using which we can, the similar way that you deal with the Dynamics 365 solution, we can do with the Power Platform also. But there are a lot of changes yet to come. It's not very flexible or not very reliable at the moment, I would say. But yes, we are moving to that direction.
Yeah, I think Microsoft is going to handle that soon, right? Some of them will be addressed in October release. Right? And also wanted to say about, so we know, right, there is a PCF control, right? So you can build your own control for Dynamics 365. Now they've opened up same thing for Power Apps as well, right? So Canvas, as of now, if you take, what are the controls are there with that you can add, right? But now they extended the Canvas platform to the next level. They're saying if you have a PCF control, bring those control to Power Apps, and you can use those control in one of the Canvas app, right? So for example, one of the control which I remember recently is business card scanner, right? So that control has been added. Using that control, you can scan any of the business card, right? And capture those information in CDS or create them as a contact, right? It made life so easy, right? If you take normal thing, right? If you want to build a similar thing, you have to put a lot of effort, calling an API, calling another AI service to read the card. Right now, everything more like kind of out of the box and seamless experience.
Yeah, so that's a very strong feature that they have come up with the PCF. I mean, I'm yet to explore into that one, but I'm seeing a lot of people are working on it. It's like we can create custom controls and then we can utilize that on Dynamics 365 as well as on our platform. So I think it is very promising in the future, and we are going to see a lot of enhancements in that area.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of it's the next level to extend your UI, right?
Yeah, rather than you write code and then you just build your custom logic, you can just do that by creating custom control by UI itself. So that is
Correct.
going to
Yeah.
be a game changer.
Yeah. Another part is you can pass the data context wherever you are, right? If you're in CRM, you can pass your data context to the contextual information to the control. Same thing on the Power Apps as well.
Yep. Cool. So do you have any other points to add to what we just discussed, Prabhu?
Yeah, so one more thing I wanted to bring up. Right? So since Power Apps is kind of considering as a separate platform, right?
Yeah.
So will there be a separate certification for that? Yes, Microsoft is planning a separate certification, just like what we have for the 365 platform, right? Similarly, they're coming up for the Power Apps.
Okay. So if I look at the latest certification they have come up with, sorry.
Yeah.
If I talk about the latest certification that Microsoft has come up with, so we have MB200 and then we have MB300. These are the common certification for Dynamics by customer engagement and unified operation. Then we also got another one with the number MB900, which is Dynamics 5 fundamentals. So in MB200, which I have checked, so we do have a lot of topics on Power Platform. And also on MB900 also we have a lot of basics on Dynamics and Power Platform. So at this moment there are no specific certification on Power Platform, but yes, that is where we are moving to. We will have more specific certification on on Power Platform in the future. But at the moment it is just clubbed with MB200 and MB900.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and also another thing I want to just bring it up. So Microsoft is kind of spending a lot of money and hours on bringing the awareness of Power Platform within the customers or even for the partners as well, right? There is an app in a day program, right? They conduct freely, right?
Okay.
So if you guys see this kind of program, right, in LinkedIn Summit, just go and enroll it. It's very interesting. You'll have when you kind of come out of that particular app in a day, right? Definitely it'll be like much better than what we have currently, right? So you know how to build, you'll learn a lot of information about the Power Apps and what is the future roadmap, right?
Yeah, correct.
Cool. A lot of things are going on Power Platform.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things. As we work on this one, and I'm just seeing there's a lot of development, like you pointed out. There are a lot of things that are coming up on the PCF and etc. So when we need to explore on this one just to understand what all things are going on Power Platform, Power Apps in the past as webinar, and now we are planning to have more on that because that is where the industry is moving to. So as a Dynamics 5 developer or consultant, we definitely need to give a lot of importance to Power Platform because we don't need to just write code like we are doing now. That is not the way we have to do it in the future. So we have to definitely look into that. We have to get good amount of knowledge on this platform, and that is what I feel about Dynamics 5 and Power Platform as of now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting points. So we can just stop the discussion now. So if anyone from the audience would like to ask any questions, we can just give them a chance to ask questions.
So Padmini this side. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about the class app which we can join on LinkedIn. Can we get to know more about it? How can we do that exactly?
Yeah, it's not exactly classes or anything. On YouTube, we have a channel called Dynamics by Global Community, and we also have presence on LinkedIn and other social media channels. So you can just follow us. It's a free community anyway, so you can just follow us on YouTube and other channel. So we will be just uploading every recording. So this is a discussion session, but we normally have a webinar session that will be a lot of knowledge will be shared. So I'll be just sharing the URL over here of the YouTube channel. You can just subscribe it and you'll be able to watch. And also on every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, we'll be having knowledge sharing sessions. So we can attend them, and then we'll notify you when the sessions are conducted. But definitely there are sessions. We are doing it very regularly and religiously on every second. and fourth Wednesday of the month. So you can attend them for free, and then there will be interesting sessions as part of this webinar.
Thank you.
I'm just sharing you the link here on chat for everyone, so you can just subscribe to the channel and then you will get notified. Cool. Any other question, anyone?
Hi, this is Manoj here. I just have one question.
Sure.
So this Power Platform is specifically for the mobile application development, or it could be used anywhere, like so browser based or anything?
Yeah.
You want to answer the question?
Yeah, I will. I'll take this up here. So mobile, that's one aspect, right? But not all the time, right? Say if you don't have D365, right, you can go for a platform, right, where CDS will be your backend, and you can build either a full-fledged Canvas mobile app or a very extensive model-driven app, right? So, and also you have the Power BI, Flow and Power BI also part of the whole platform, right? It gives you a placeholder where you can write your business logic and automation, and also like BA also part of our platform, right, where you can like slash and dice your information, right? It can be used for both a kind of web application as well as a mobile application.
Okay. And if somebody wants to pursue the career in this Power Apps, so like what would you suggest? Go for the model-driven apps or for the Canvas? Which one is like?
Yeah, I would recommend go for both, right? So get a basic understanding of the CRM data model, right? How the CRM data model works. It's the same thing on the CDS as well, right? And whatever the customization you do, if you have a CRM knowledge, learning a Power App, it's not that difficult. It's kind of more easy, right? Only thing you're going to learn about the formula based how it works for the Canvas app.
Okay, so I see like I'm a CRM guy, so that's why I'm asking like I think so. This model-driven apps is more easier, right?
Yeah,
so
model-driven
like,
app is nothing but your CRM customization itself, right? What you see on the sitemap.
Yeah.
So similarly, where you can break and create a multiple apps, right, with the sitemap customization, and your underlying entities remain same, right? You're gonna change your the way your application look and feel, right? So what is my list of entities I want? What are my forms I want? What type of views I want, right? So you're gonna pick and choose how you have a solution packager, right? You can pick and choose the attributes and views which you want to move to the next environment. So similarly, model-driven app, you can pick and choose what your business needs, right?
Yes.
So I have a single CRM application, but it is being used by multiple division within your organization, right? So for everyone giving the same sitemap navigation, you can break them and give a different field, right? Create a different tab for each of them. Some of them might use a different set of entities, right? But the whole concept is called model-driven app. You can create individual business line specific navigation using model-driven, right? And if you want to create more role-based application, then go for a Canvas app, right? It could be like elevator maintenance, right? Or some inspection, right? So anybody who's on the field, right? And they want to do a quick thing, right? Or a small set of activity, then for them, Canvas app, it's a better option. So learning,
can I add to that, Prabhu?
Power Apps? Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. So yeah, so
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Power Platform start with the two types of apps in Power Apps. One is the Canvas app, and second one is model-driven apps. Now they have added third type also, which is nothing but Power Apps portal. So if I talk about Canvas app, that is majorly for the mobile devices, but it can run on web also. We talk about model-driven app. These are nothing but the apps from your Dynamics 365 customer engagement. If I look at that way, we do have Dynamics 365 for sales, customer service, and etc. So these apps we can extend from within Power Apps. So if I have Dynamics 365 for sales, how you customize that now? Go to Dynamics 365 and then add new entities and then customize the existing entities, write code, write JavaScript. That's how we customize it. So these apps can be customized using Power Platform also. So those are called model-driven apps. You can just use them on Power Platform, and then I can just customize them. So that without writing much code, but with low code, we can just customize them using Power Apps. So we have so much things to see there, because it is not all the features which you are doing now from Dynamics 5 can be do from Power Apps at this moment, but yes, we are seeing a lot of interesting things there. So that is known as model-driven apps. And Canvas app and model-driven app, just like Prabhu rightly mentioned, like here we can just get different functionality. One is on the mobile and web, other one is for the different functionality that we have. I hope it is clear, your question.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
So any other question, anyone? We can just take 2 more questions.
So Padmini here again. From the last discussion, I understand that as you are saying low code many times while describing the Power Apps. So just now that you said that in our sales surveys and in our marketing, we can enhance and basically change the complete look of our applications using Power Apps, which you were describing as a model something, right? Model apps.
Model-driven app, yeah.
Model-driven app. So this is what you are meaning, that we are configuring everything, one application using other application and using less code. This is what you mean by low code?
So low code means we will be writing very little code. I mean, that's a direct meaning of that. So today, if you want to customize Dynamics 5, what you do, you write JavaScript on one side, you write plugin code on the client side, or custom code, C# code. So now when it's come to Power Platform, you are not writing a lot of code. Instead of that, a lot of functionality you can just do with that. Drag and drop, PCF is coming up, is already there, using which also you can customize it. So you have to write little code when compared to what you are doing now on Dynamics 5. And also, you don't need to write C# code on Power Platform. Instead, we have function like, function like code. That in Excel, you are adding function just to create macros and everything. So similar to that, we do also have function over here. So that is what known as low code or no code. That means hardly any code you have, and then you have a function that you create with the help of that you can just run your functionality.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other question, anyone? Look like there are no more questions. So thanks, Prabhu, for joining us, and thanks everyone for joining us on this evening. So it was a very interesting session, and what I learned is we have yet more to learn and explore on Microsoft platform. So it was my pleasure having Prabhu on this session, and we will be continue having more sessions on this one. So thanks everyone for joining in. Have a nice day, night.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Firoz.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.